Are you guys ready to get started? Yeah? Okay. I'm going to actually turn my camera around. Let's see here. I can show you all the materials for both kits. So within the next half an hour to an hour, we'll see how long it's going to take. I'm going to go through both kits. So hopefully everybody has opened their kits. They have their materials set out on the table. And you notice that I have a little bit of paper down on the table just in case we got a little bit messy. I'm going to start by introducing you to some of the basic materials. I just wanted to find, yeah, and then I'll go through the advanced program. Okay, so first off, we're going to start by looking at this project. That's the basic project. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with a special clay cutout that I've made for the project. And with that, we're going to take out our paint. That's the first thing that we're going to do. And a sponge that everybody has in their kit. So if everybody could get those materials out first off, make sure you have a little bit of water available to you because we're going to reuse our sponge when we get to the glitter part. So as soon as we open our paint, it's nice and liquidy. We're going to take a little bit in our sponge and we're going to dab it onto our clay piece. So we're going to completely cover our ornament like so. And then we're going to just set it off the side to dry. So as soon as we are done dabbing, we're going to take our sponge and we're going to clean it out a little bit. Oh, I have a visitor. This is Nala. Nala has been visiting my classes today, as everybody else who has cats can attest to, and even dogs. So make sure when you're dabbing your heart that we also dab the sides. We don't have to do the back because the back is going to actually sit on our frame once we get that part done.
Christy, is the advanced set supposed to have red paint with it as well?
No.
Okay. So we don't do this set.
Right. Well, we're starting with the basic. So while our people are working on dabbing the paint, what we'll do with your guys' kit is you're going to start by taking out your puzzle pieces. I've been working with puzzles as of late too. So we're going to take out some of our material, and you'll get to have a look at the materials that you have in your kit. And I want you to kind of go through and sort out your materials into sections. So you'll want to also keep in mind the flatter ones, the better, the ones that are closest to this pattern height-wise and flatness is better. So you're going to just kind of sort through your materials. And as you can see mine here, I have a lot of pink in the middle, and then I've got some patterning on the outside. With yours, you got a little bit more of an edge, which is important in the process. So you have to decide how you want to put your broken dish mosaic pieces here. So number one with you guys is sorting out your materials, figuring out colors, patterns that you're going to be surprised with when you take out your materials and see what colors you have. Okay, so that's our advanced people can go ahead and start their process. I'm going to go back and forth from basic to advanced. So now we're going to go back to the advanced group, and we're going to, now that we've got our sponge cleaned out, we're going to open our glitter up and give us a small amount in your sponge. And now we're going to just tap it on top. Okay, so it doesn't really require a lot. That's why there's only a small amount in our package. And those two items are done. So we're gonna put our heart up on top to dry a little bit. And how are we doing with our advanced people? We're gonna sort through that.
Good, we're just sorting.
Okay, good. Okay, because Kit Basic is an hour long-ish, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of move a little bit ahead. The sorting and gluing is something you can do along the way of the process. So as you're sorting, I'm going to introduce the framing. The framing is the fun part. So everybody just, while you're sorting, you can kind of tag along and check out what we're doing here, because both of you guys will be doing this part. And the frame, when you look at the frame, is made up of 11 sticks on top and 2 or 3, depending if you want an extra one for support in the back. So the 3 panels here, the 3 sticks will hold everything into place. 2 actually does it as well too. So this part, once you've got the frame put together, it needs a little bit of time to dry. So again, we're gonna pick 11 sticks that we're going to fit on the bottom. Now, I very carefully went through all of your sticks to make sure you had even ones. These ones are not even, just because I didn't want to give you guys the ones that aren't going to fit all that well. So as soon as you've got 11 sticks down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I did provide you with a couple of colored sticks. So if you would like to put them in different places like we have here, you can do that now. I'm going to do that with this one. Okay. So as we're going through this, in the visuals, what I've tried to do is kind of show a couple visuals that we want to try and get them as even as we can that way and push them as close as we can this way. Now you'll notice when you put your sticks totally across, 11 is the perfect number. So I definitely did a little bit of research when I did the initial sample. Okay, so what we're going to do, you can decide if you're going to use 2 sticks or 3, is we're going to take our glue, and both of you have the glue provided in your kits. And if you want to use your 3rd stick to do this part, it's pretty important that we put a nice bead of glue here. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to put one, so try not to wiggle your sticks too much. And we're going to place one on the very top. And then we're going to place one on the bottom. Okay. Now, we can let that set up to dry in that section. If you wish, you could take your ribbon and you could glue it in 2 spots at the top and do this at the same time. And this is good to kind of watch it, because what I've noticed with this part is sometimes the string wants to jiggle away. I sometimes put a little bit of glue right on top of it to kind of make sure it's not going to fall apart. And the glue, if you get a little bit extra on there, it's perfectly okay. What's going to happen with that glue is it is going to dry clear. Okay. The next part is we're going to go back to the mosaic creations. In both cases, we have this one. You're going to have a smaller bag of mosaic tiles. And you're simply going to take a tile, pour them out, and have a look at them. And in both cases, it's really interesting to have a look at these tile pieces, because you'll notice that some of them have a nice pattern. They're nice and flat. Some of them are a little bit taller, and some of them are curved a little bit. So when you look at each one of these, think of what kind of product they came from. Some of them might be from a teacup. Some of them might come from a plate. Some of them might come from a bowl. So teacups would have some interesting kind of shapes here. So what you're going to do with the beginner kit, the basic kit, is you're going to simply take your glue and you're going to dip it a little bit and place it somewhere on your dish, on your heart. For the more advanced ones, you can see that the dish pieces are placed on the inside of the border. And you're going to simply, if you want to just dip your flat pieces of dishes and place them from one side to another, you can do that. Keep in mind, you want to leave a little bit of a gap, because the second part of this process is you're going to be grouting. And that's what's provided in this other container. It's a powdery material that we're going to mix with a spoon, and we're going to apply it, and it's going to be kind of mushy. And when it dries, it gets really chalky. Okay. So everybody, the main thing to remember when you're doing this process is, if you want, I've provided a toothpicks, or if you have toothpicks, you want to do it this way, you can do that. Or if you prefer to dip your mosaic pieces in the glue, you might get a little bit gluey, but it is washable. So go ahead and do your dipping. Make sure that you put a little bit more glue on the ones that are kind of curvy. That one isn't. Okay, so let's move on to the more advanced one here. And I'm just going to start by putting mosaic pieces down. You may wish to do patterns, borders on the outside. You may wish to put a pattern on the inside, on an extra heart or something on the inside, like I did in the previous one, which I'll just kind of put a little bit closer. So with the sticks that I provided with the advanced kit, they kind of help wiggle the pieces around, because it is sometimes hard to get them to wiggle into place. I usually like to do one area at a time. Now, the reason why this one is a little bit more advanced is this process of mobility and kind of placing them. So it's a good project for older participants and teenagers. Younger students are better off, I think, with the basic ones, right? Will, please, I'm in class. There's people hearing you. Sorry. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, we have a cat that is has cabin fever, and she doesn't know what to do with herself. So she's been entertaining me a lot during the day and expressing her frustration with not being able to be outside. Hope everybody's doing okay with that. It's a nice process. A good introduction for sure. So when we're doing this part, the second part of it, where we do the grouting, it's important that we make sure that the tiles have dried completely, because what happens if you do the grouting before the tiles are dry is the tile pieces are going to start moving around, and that's not what you want to happen. Poor Nala. Poor kitty. Winter will be over soon, hopefully. Okay, so gang that are in the first, the basic kits, I'm going to move on with them a little bit, move ahead to explain the next step. And our advanced people can also follow along with this, because what you need to realize is I provided a little some words for you. Now you can choose to use these ones, or if you would like to write your own words, you can do that as well. One thing to realize when you're doing this process is make sure that wherever you put, you're going to place the heart, that when you glue it down, you've left enough room for the lettering. Now, if these letters, if you want something a little bit more personalized, I would suggest that you find a permanent marker and get someone to write the words with pencil first, and then go over them with the permanent marker after. Or if you would like to use these ones, you can definitely glue these ones on. you do notice that the letters might need to be cut a little bit smaller and cut into however you'd like to put them, attach them on here. So once you've got the words selected or printed out, make sure, just very carefully, look at where your heart is going to be placed, and then you're going to glue them on. Okay, so this is, you'll want to, at this point, do this very well. Yeah, you might want to let this dry a little bit because of the, maybe we'll do the string after. Very carefully turn this over. And I'm just going to show you, you might want to wait, I'm thinking, but the goal is you'll want to put glue on the back of here and place it on here. Once the side is dry. Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait for the string to dry before we do that part. Okay, so basic people, that is pretty much how the project will be. Now, if you'd like to add some other little elements to it, I've got a ribbon that is in the bag that you can use. Back to the advanced people. We're going to continue and glue little bits of tiles here until we've completely filled our heart up. I hope this is helping you have something to look forward to, all this stir craziness of cabin fever and stuff. We'll be all happy when it's supposed to warm up on Sunday, apparently. So we'll be all happy for that, right? So the mosaic process that we're doing today is kind of inspired from looking at mosaics in Europe and in the Middle East. There's lots of cultures that do this this kind of work more on a religious basis, but in our case, definitely a really nice decorative way to do what we're doing today. So as we're going along here, you'll notice that it gets a little trickier as we move along here. That's why the little sticks kind of help us along. So everybody in the first basic kits, just want to see how are you guys doing? Is everybody doing okay in the process of this? Ruben, is everybody? Oh, that looks really nice. Oh, great. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad to see that it worked out for you, right? Okay, so you got your pieces done. Awesome. If you would like to help clean up, that's also part of the process, and have a really nice Valentine's Day. Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So if you want to stay and watch the advanced one, you can. Or if you would like to leave, you're more than welcome to do what you like. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay. So we're moving along here. So we started doing these clay kits at Christmas time, or actually no, we started doing them at Halloween. Once COVID hit, we had to change some of the formatting of our programs. So that's why you see these play at home kits. And we're going to continue to do them on. They become a popular program that we're doing throughout the gallery. Well, see, some of the ones you'll notice that aren't very flat. They kind of don't sit in there very good, and they might give us some problems when we're grouting. So I'm going to try one more time. Stick that in there. What also tends to happen is if they're still a little bit sticky, they might all, or some of them might want to come out. Nice. So this project, as I said, has been inspired by mosaic making from Europe and the Middle East. And I have a friend who does mosaic making. So we had a lot of extra pieces that were donated during the piece in, that was done at the spa. And they donated all the materials to us. So we have quite a few of these.
Christy, have you ever done furniture like with the mosaic tiles?
Tabletops I've done a little bit with.
I've seen some tabletops done in the mosaic. I've always wanted to learn how to do that. I think it's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah. You just got to find the right tabletop to do that kind of thing.
Do we really need this?
And even those trays, you can get those coffee table or those coffee trays sometimes.
Yeah, like a serving tray. I've seen those too.
Yeah.
They're beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. I've done a couple of programs at the art gallery with those ones. And so this being a little bit of a teaser project, it takes probably a day or two to do, you know, a project like that. So if you don't mind making puzzles and that, then it's a possibility for sure that you could do. I have done it using soft clay and making patterns out of the clay.
Oh, right. I've seen like a stepping stone done like that. I think they used cement and then used the tiles in it.
Right. Yeah,
that would be
exactly.
too, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how are you guys managing? Are you guys
We've got all our pieces glued in.
Oh, good. Okay.
We've got our popsicle sticks all stuck together.
Okay, so it might be just a matter of waiting, a waiting part of it now, but for the class purposes and because I've got this recording, I'm going to show you the next step of the grouting process.
Do we have to wait until the glue is completely dry before it?
Yes, otherwise what happens is the tiles will pull away when you put the grouting in.
Right.
So I'll demonstrate it and show you with the anticipation that they may come
and
apart.
we can finish off when it's dry later on.
Yeah, after supper or something.
Perfect.
Okay, so this grout is the same kind of grout that you would use in grouting your tiles in the bathroom or on the floor. So I proportioned enough that it will do the project with a little bit of extra. So you have a container full that we need to put into another container. And then about half of the amount of the container, we add that amount of water to it. So I'm going to just pour that in. And with that plastic spoon I provided, we're just going to stir it up. Now, if you find it a little bit too thick, maybe just add a small amount of water at a time. You don't want it really liquid. You want it kind of a pasty consistency. But you don't want to pour too much in because we only have a small amount, right? Okay, so make sure all the lumps and bumps are out. So mine's a little bit runny. I think it will dry okay. But what we're going to do now is we're going to pour that inside. And grout colors are also interesting when you think about how the background's going to look. So what I provided for you guys is kind of a buff color. And the buff color is good because it won't take away from your patterning. Okay, so basically what you want to do is you want to pour just enough because we're going to be taking most of this away from our project. But we want to make sure all the little cracks are filled in. Okay, so the next step is we need a little bit of water. And now we're going to take this away. And each time dipping our sponge in the water and just having it damp, not really, really wet, just damp enough so that when we're pulling out the grout, we're just pulling off the top part, not the grout that's on underneath. Okay, so let me just show you. So when you look at this one, notice the grout is just tucked in between the cracks. And that's our goal, is not to take it too much away. So that's why we're going like that. Well, this is not too bad for a demo, even though I haven't let it dry enough. It's doing okay. But what would happen if you guys did it is, yeah, those little tiles will tend to pull up. So our goal is to make sure that there is enough grout in between the cracks. And if you're missing, say there's a little hole right there, take a little bit of material and pour it back in. And this process just takes a little bit of time to do. So grout can be a little bit corrosive. I don't find it bothers my hands, but if you would like to use gloves, that might not be such a bad idea to use gloves. That way your hands don't get dried out too much, but wash your hands after you finish the project for sure. Okay, so that pretty much finishes the project. I thought with the grouted project that it would look nicer plain with and then just like that. Okay, or let's show you what this, I haven't glued these on. Yeah, when it's completely dry and you've got the grout in there, you'll want to put a little bit of glue on the back and glue that into place once you have the lettering designed on there. Okay, so that is our advanced Valentine's Day Clay at Home kit. Is there any questions for me? Or does that explain it? All right. Everybody's
No,
good?
I think that totally explained it. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, just to give you guys a heads up, I think I did mention to Karen that we will be doing our next Clay at Home kit will include a clay egg that we're going to do a diorama with. So using a little bit of air dry or air baking kind of clay at home, and putting little things on the inside of our clay eggs and doing some decorating on the outside of it.
That sounds awesome.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a great Valentine's Day, everybody.
You too. Stay warm.
Yeah, thank
Bye-bye.
you. You too. Bye-bye.